Well, no matter how many intel officers are crisscrossing the globe, no matter how much chatter can be heard and translated, no matter how many terrorists we kill before they kill someone else, nothing works when communication, evidence, and ideas fall through the cracks. These cracks are growing because for some reason we knee-jerk the same way every time, and more people die. Our guest is founder and president at the Center for Security Policy and former Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Policy. Welcome Frank Gaffney back to the Hardline. Frank, I'm going to use the simple word, imagination. It seems we do not have the imagination, nor do we seem to have the resolve as a country to do what needs to be done. Look, we can't keep every single person out. You can't build a wall around the entire country here, but you've still got to be able to pick the people out of the mix that are coming here to kill us, and we're not good at it. Why?
Well, I think Derek said a number of the things that I would say as well. There is unquestionably a blinder on in terms of the White House and the attitude of this president and his subordinates to the threat. We're watching them dismiss it, minimize it, or at least mischaracterize it. And as has been said now, oftentimes, but not with enough effect, if you don't know the enemy, you cannot defeat them. And by the way, as you know, the enemy isn't just over there trying to come here. There are enemies inside this country now, and frankly, some of them have been advising this president, have been encouraging this, well, I think sympathy on his part for the sort of Muslim world or the Muslim aspiration. But unfortunately, that has translated into real inroads, not just in the violent kind of jihad that these guys are most notorious for, but what the Muslim Brotherhood calls the civilization jihad, a kind of stealthy subversion from within.
Okay, let me stop you there for a second. Subversion from within. Let me stop you there. Is it possible, I'm probably answering my own question here, what some people have said, that we are playing into their hands? It is simply the fear. It is simply the terror. The fact that we're trying to push Syrians or anybody else out of this country. The fact that we are basically saying we're going to go after them. We're going to put 10,000 divisions on the ground and just start killing people. Is it possible that we're just playing into their hands and that proves that we're just not as smart as we need to be?
Well, I don't know whether we're playing into their hands or not. I know what they seek is our submission. And to the extent that we exhibit it by pretending they're not a problem, or by looking the other way at the problem that they represent, not, again, just to our friends or allies or other freedom-loving peoples elsewhere, but to us as well, then I think that's what's playing into their ultimate hands, and that is our submission. We mustn't do that, and we need to push back thoughtfully, creatively, and with all instruments of national power against both the Islamic State and the global jihad movement, of which it's really just one part.
A minute to go. Thoughtfully and creatively here. I'm going to use those two words, get them right back at you here then. How do we do that then and still infiltrate the enemy, still find the enemy, still destroy the enemy? How? And what aren't we doing?
Yeah, you know, we thought that a very good model for this was how President Ronald Reagan, my old boss, defeated the last totalitarian ideology that tried to take us down, Soviet communism. We put it together in what we call the Secure Freedom Strategy. It's available for free online at securefreedom.org. I commend it to your listeners because what that basic model showed was if you're clear about the ideological character of the enemy and you bring all instruments of national power to bear on them, the counter-ideological, intelligence, military as appropriate, economic most especially, and information operations, you have a chance of defeating even outfits as dangerous as this. We did it before, we can do it again, and I believe we have no choice because, as the Pope has said, we are in a world war against the global jihad movement.
10 seconds. Anything you think that would change this president's mind and make him see the light, or is he just too naive to go that far?
I don't think it's naivete. As I say, I believe he's got a predisposition that translates effectively, if not intentionally, to playing for the other side.
Playing for another side that only seems to want to kill us, and they don't care how they do it. That's frightening indeed. Frank Gaffney, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and your expertise. We're going to talk a lot more about this in the near future. Well, the knee-jerk cry is to take the battle to ISIS in Syria. But why would we expect ground action that would be any different this time from any other? Let's dig into that when the Hardline continues.